Hi guys, welcome to Vegyans. This is Vivek Saini. Today we are going to study definition of rational number. Let's start. The word rational comes from the word ratio. In fact, rational numbers are the ratio of two integers. For example, if we take the ratio of the integers minus 3 and 2, we get the ratio minus 3 is to 2. Now this ratio minus 3 is to 2, you know that it can be written as minus 3 by 2. Now minus 3 by 2 is a rational number. Now those who don't know what are integers, let me write down what are integers. Integers are numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, etc. Now integers are numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. up to infinity. This etc. up to infinity means this list will never end. That is, after 4 you'll get 5, then you'll get 6, then you'll get 7, and so on. You'll keep getting the numbers. You'll get 999, you'll get 1000, 1 lakh, and so on. Similarly, you'll after this minus 3 you'll get minus 4, then you'll get minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, and so on. So these are the integers. So if you take the ratio of two integers, you get the rational number. For example, here you took the ratio of two integers minus 3 and 2. You got the rational number minus 3 by 2. Let's take one more example. Let's take the ratio of the integers minus 2 and 3 this time. So if we take the ratio of the integers minus 2 and 3, we get minus 2 by 3. Now minus 2 by 3 is also a rational number. Now you can take the ratio of any two integers, but you can't take the second number as 0. For example, if we take second number as 0 and first integer can be any integer, for example let it be 3, then you get 3 by 0. Now 3 by 0 is not a rational number. Now why 3 by 0 is not a rational number? Let me explain this to you. 3 by 0 is not a rational number because 3 by 0 means 3 divided by 0. Now when you try to divide 3 by 0, by whatever number you multiply 0, for example let us multiply 0 by 1, you get 0. Or when you multiply 0 by 2, then also you get 0. If you multiply 0 by 3, then also you get 0. That is, by whatever number you multiply 0, you always get 0, you'll never get 3. That means 3 is not divisible by 0. In fact, any number is not divisible by 0. So since 3 is not divisible by 0, we can't divide 3 by 0. We call this number as not defined. Not defined means this 3 by 0 has no definition. So remember, when you want to get a rational number and you take the ratio of two integers, don't take the second number or second integer as 0. Now let us proceed. You know that to get a rational number, you are taking the ratio of two integers. For example, you took the ratio of minus 3 and 2. Now the ratio of minus 3 and 2 is written as minus 3 by 2 to get a rational number. Similarly, the ratio 2 minus 2 is to 3 is written as minus 2 by 3 to get the rational number minus 2 by 3. Now whenever we write the ratio of two integers in this form to get a rational number, this form is known as the form P by Q. What it is known as? It is known as the form P by Q. Now, and we know that rational numbers are written in this form. So we'll call that rational numbers are the numbers which are written in the form P by Q. And where P denotes this upper number and Q denotes this lower number, and both the numbers are integer. So that means both P and Q are integers. So this gives us the definition of rational number as rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form P by Q. So rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form P by Q. So rational numbers are those numbers which can be written in the form P by Q. And what are P and Q here? P and Q here are integers. Since we were taking the ratio of integers, P and Q will be integers. So we'll write here, in the definition we have to also mention what are P and Q here. Otherwise, the reader will not understand what are P and Q here. How he or she will come to know that what are P and Q here. So we need to mention what are P and Q here, where P and Q are integers. We have already seen that P denotes the upper integer and Q denotes the lower integer. So both P and Q are integers. Now one more thing we need to mention over here, that thing is this lower integer. Lower, by lower I mean the integer which is written downside and we call it Q. It cannot be equal to 0. We can't take it equal to 0. So we need to mention that also. So we have to mention and Q is not equals to 0. So this means rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equals to 0. So rational numbers are those numbers which can be written in the form P by Q, where P and Q both are integers and Q should not be equal to 0. So this is the definition of rational numbers. Let's try to understand more about this definition. So this definition says that rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form P by Q. We haven't written in this definition that rational numbers are the numbers which are already written in the form P by Q. We have written which can be written in the form P by Q. Even the numbers which are not in the form of P by Q but can be written in the form P by Q, are also rational numbers. Let us take some examples to understand this definition. So, for example, if you look at 1 by 2, 1 by 2 is a rational number. Why? Because it is in the form P by Q, where P is 1, Q is 2, both are integers. We have already seen that integers are numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to infinity, and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, etc. up to minus infinity. So 1 is an integer, we can see 1 in the list of integer, and 2 is also an integer, we can see 2 also in the list of integer. So we have a number which is written in the form P by Q, where P and Q both are integers, and Q, the number which is written downside, it is not equals to 0, it is actually 2. So it is a rational number. Now similarly, if you look at 3 by minus 2, now 3 by minus 2 is also a rational number. Now why it is a rational number? See, because it is written in the form P by Q. P by Q, where P and Q both are integers. You can see 3 in the list of integers, you see -2 in the list of integers, and Q, the number which is written downside, that is -2, it is not equals to 0. So it is a rational number. So both 1 by 2, 3 by -2 are rational numbers, but here these numbers were already written in the form P by Q. So we say that these and P and Q were here integers, and Q is not equals to 0. So we say that these are rational numbers. So these numbers were already written in the form P by Q. Can we have a number which can be written in the form of P by Q and we can call it a rational number? Yes, there are such type of numbers. For example, let us take a number -25. Now this -25, can we write it in the form P by Q? Yes, we can write it in the form P by Q as -25 by 1. Now -25 by 1, why can we write this -25 as -25 by 1? Because on both sides we have the same value. On left hand side means whatever part is written on the left side of equals to sign, that is known as the left hand side. So on left hand side we have -25, and on right hand side means the part which is written on the right side of equals to sign. On right hand side we have -25 by 1. So if we divide -25 by 1, we again get -25. So on right hand side also will have -25. For example, let's try to divide -25 by 1. To divide -25 by 1, we have to first ignore the signs. Let us divide 25 by 1. We get 2 ones, 1 twos are 2. Then we get 1 fives are 5. So you get 25. Okay, but we have to put the same sign also. So -25 by divided by 1 will be -25. This will be -25. So on both sides this will be -25. So on both sides you have the same value -25. So that means if you write -25 even as -25 by 1, then also you get the same value on the right side. So this means we can write -25 by -25 as -25 by 1. So now we see we have written -25 in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers. Are P and Q here integer? P is this upper number and Q is this number which is written downside. So is P integer, -25 integer? Yes, it is. When we extend this list of integers on the negative side, after -3 you'll get -4, then you'll get -5, then you'll get -5, -6 and so on. If you keep going on, you'll get -25. So -25 is an integer, 1 is also an integer. Is Q equals to 0? The number which is written downside Q, this one, is it equal to 0? No, it is not equals to 0. So we have satisfied all the three conditions for a number to be a rational number. Now what are the there are total three conditions for a number to be a rational number. What are the three conditions? First condition is this: it should be written in the it can be written in the form of P by Q. Second condition is P and Q are integers, and third condition is Q should not be equal to 0. So what we see over here is the first condition satisfied. Can -25 be written in the form P by Q? Yes, -25 can be written in the form P by Q as -25 by 1. Let us see, is the second condition satisfied? Are the P and Q integers? P and Q, the numbers which are written upside and downside. are both integers? Yes, the number which is written upside minus 25 is an integer. The number which is written downside, that is q, that is 1, is an integer. Now third condition, let us see, is the third condition satisfied? Is q not equal to 0? Yes, q is not equals to 0, q is 1, 1 is not equals to 0. So all the three conditions are satisfied. All these three conditions are satisfied, that is, the number can be written in the form of p by q, where p and q are integers and q is not equals to 0. So we'll call minus 25 a rational number. It is a rational number. But pay emphasis, pay attention that in the definition, again I'll say that we haven't used the word the numbers which are written in the form p by q. Are written, there is a difference between are written and can be written. If instead of can be written I use numbers which are written in the form of p by q, then we have only said that the numbers which are already in the form p by q, like these number, these are only in rational numbers. But when I use the word can be instead of are, that means it doesn't matter whether the number is written in the form of p by q, or it is written in the form of p by q or not, or it is not written in the form of p by q. Even if it can be written in the form of p by q, then also we'll call it a rational number. Here for example, minus 25 we have written in the form p by q, so we'll call it a rational number. Okay, now one question that arises frequently, is that students ask me many times that, sir, can't instead of 1 we write 2 here? Let's try to write 2 instead of 1. So if we write 2 instead of 1, that is at the place of q, at the place of 1 we write 2 as q. So is this correct? When we write minus 25 in the form of p by q, can we take p as minus 25 and q as 2? The answer is no. Why the answer is no? Because when you divide minus 25 by 2, you'll get minus 12.5, which is not same as minus 25. So that means we can't write minus 25 as minus 25 by 2. Let us see how we get minus 25 divided by 2 as minus 12.5. For that, let's divide 25 by 2. To see what is minus 25 divided by 2, ignore this sign and divide 25 by 2. So you get 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 5 minus 4 1, then point, you put a decimal, here you put a 0, now 2 5s are 10. So you get here 12.5. So 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. Since the sign of numerator and denominator, the number p which is written upside is known as numerator, and the number which is written downside q, that is 2, is known as denominator. The sign of numerator and denominator are opposite. Numerator is negative and denominator is positive. That is, the sign with numerator is minus and the sign with denominator is plus. There is no sign with denominator actually. That means there is a plus sign. Since the signs are opposite, that is not the same, with the answer, with the quotient, we put a minus sign. So minus 25 divided by 2 is minus 12.5. So what we see over here is, when we divide minus 25 by 2, we get minus 12.5. So is the value same on left hand side and right hand side? No, the value is not same on the left hand side and the right hand side. On the left hand side we have minus 25, on the right hand side we have minus 12.5. So this means, see, if we put P as minus 25 and Q as 2 will not get the same value which is on left hand side, that is minus 25. We'll get a different value, so we can't take Q as 2. Now similarly students ask, okay, we can't change this denominator, that is we have to write it 1. Can we change the numerator, that is instead of minus 25 can we write minus 26 for example? Let's try to say this. Let's divide minus 26 by 1. Again, when we perform division of integers, ignore the signs, just divide minus 26 by 1, numerator by denominator, by ignoring the sign. So 1 2s are 2, now you get 6. Now 1 6 are 6. So if you divide 26 by 1, you get 26. Now the signs of the numerator and denominator are opposite. The sign with numerator is minus, that is negative, and there is no sign with the denominator, that means there is a plus sign. So numerator is negative and denominator is positive. So the signs are opposite. When in division of two integers, signs are opposite, the answer you get, it is known as quotient actually. It is known as quotient. So in division, whatever answer you get, it is known as quotient. Okay, that's why rational numbers are denoted by the letter capital Q. This Q comes from the word quotient. It is the first letter, that is initial of the word quotient. Okay, so we were talking about how to divide two integers. To divide two integers, just ignore the signs and divide the numerator by denominator. If the signs of the two integers are opposite, the quotient, that is the answer we get, will be negative. If the signs are same, for example, if we had here plus 26 and divided by plus 1, then we would have not got here minus 26, we would have got plus 26. Okay, so if when we divide an integer by an integer, so the sign should not be opposite. If the signs are opposite, we will get a negative quotient, a negative number. If the signs are same, we'll get a positive number. So what I was saying is, when you can't write minus 25 as minus 26 by 1, that is you can't change the value of p, you have to write it minus 26, because if we change, you have to write it minus 25, you can't write it minus 26. Why this is so? Because if you write at the place of minus 25, if you write minus 26, you get minus 26 divided by 1 as minus 26. Now minus 26 is not same as minus 25. So on left hand side and right hand side, you do not have the same values. So that's why you can't write minus 25 as minus 26 by 1 when you want to write it in the form p by q. So does it mean that when we want to write minus 25 in the form p by q, we have to write the numerator as minus 25 and denominator as 1 only? Can't we change the value of p and q? Will p always be minus 25 and q always be 1? Is it so? No. The answer is no. We can write some different values for p and q. For example, p you can write as minus 50 and q you can write as 2. Now why can you write p as minus 50 and q as 2? Because you know that 50 divided by 2, 2 2s are 4, 5 minus 4 1, 0, 2 5s are 10, 10 minus 10 0. So you get 25, and since there is a negative sign here, you'll get minus 25. So that means minus 50 by 2 is also minus 25. So you can write minus 25 as minus 50 by 2. Similarly, you can write minus 25 as minus 75 by 3, because minus 75 divided by 3 is again minus 25. Similarly, you can write minus 25 as minus 100 by 4, and even you can write it as minus 125 by 5, because minus 100 by 4 again is minus 25, and minus 125 by 5 is again as minus 25. So this means it's not like that minus 25 has a unique representation. Unique means only one type of representation in the form p by q. That means we can only write minus 25 as minus 25 by 1 only. We can write it as minus 50 by 2, minus 75 by 3, minus 100 by 4, minus 125 by 4. That is minus 25 or any number, it doesn't have only a unique representation in the form p by q. In fact, it has infinite. In this way, you can write this minus 25 in the form of p by q in infinite number of ways. Infinite number of ways means uncountable number of ways. I hope you're getting this. So minus 25 doesn't have a unique representation in the form p by q. In fact, it has infinite representations in the form p by q. Now all these representations are known as equivalent rational numbers. Okay. Now many of you will say that, sir, we understood that all these are equivalent rational numbers, but sir, how do we get equivalent rational numbers? We get equivalent rational numbers not so soon. This is our topic for next video. Okay, so in our next video we'll study about equivalent rational numbers and the simplest form of an equivalent rational number. So again, this was Vivek Saini, and you were studying the definition of rational numbers uh, under the chapter first, number system of 9th class mathematics. You're watching Vgyans, and thank you very much. If you like this video, please press the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video to your friends. And if you want to get the latest notifications, please press the bell icon. Thank you.